from window. And there we go. Oh, okay. Hi. Do you ever find yourself getting more sleep whenever you do Tetsuji and Sume training? No. Does it tire you out on Nimue? Getting more sleep. Huh. I don't think so. You're asking because you started to sleep longer and better after starting your training. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think I notice a difference. Usually I'm pretty alert when I'm actually doing the thing, but get longer and better sleep if I'm kind of tired out. Also, if I haven't taken a lot of nicotine and caffeine, I get a better sleep, better and longer sleep. Because when you take like caffeine and nicotine like right before like close to when you're sleeping time, it actually interrupts your REM sleep, so it's not so good. Yeah. It's only been a week and a half, but I'm starting to sleep longer since you started doing it more. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I got what you meant. You got the Time Zombie got to play in person for its Nyrock's birthday at the Go Center. It's been so long since he played on a real board that he had to stand over the board looking directly downward so it resembled a 2D board. But perhaps your brain is taking more time when you sleep to build all the shogi connections in your brain. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Yeah, sleep's really important because it helps you with retention. So if you don't get good sleep, your chances of retaining the thing goes down. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I occasionally get when I'm dreaming. I sometimes dream about certain problems or board positions, yeah. And some of it makes sense and some of it doesn't because it's a dream. When pieces are 3D, your brain has trouble recognizing them as shogi pieces now. Oh, okay. I guess Ghost has to go. So hopefully he will be able to um, look at this later on. Uh, So maybe you'll be able to watch it. Okay, so let's see this. I didn't see very much of the game, but good job for Siowketan. Yeah. Okay. So I was I was talking to Ghoststone the other day, and we're talking about Dawn ranks, and he was talking about it. He's trying to get to 1 Dawn on 81 Dojo, and I mentioned to him that I hope that he's able to the ranks on 81 Dojo are tied into this numerical rating. So rating and ranks aren't the same thing. And so when people try to make a comparison, there isn't always a very neat comparison that you can, like a one-to-one comparison that you can just lay the ranking over the rating. And so I was saying that, I hope that he gets to like a Dawn rank in the traditional sense rather than in like the digital sense like it is nowadays. So what a Dawn rank used to mean was that you reached a point in your play, or it could actually be any field because there's also Dawn rankings in like other things too. It just meant that you reached like a basic an understanding of basics, and then so that's kind of where the real beginning of serious learning starts. And unlike like on 81 Dojo, you know, rankings that you get like in an actual dojo, it isn't tied into the numerical rating. Like with numerical ratings, it ends up going up and down, and you can end up losing your rank. Whereas if you gain a rank in a dojo, an actual dojo, it doesn't go up and down. So it acts as sort of like a rating floor, and also a mark of experience and sometimes even seniority in your given field. So that's the difference. So I was hoping that he would be able to reach a point where he would know the basics well, and then that to me that was I thought that was way more important than gaining gaining one on a server. So anyway, let's start going it. But not unfortunately, not everyone has a chance to play in dojos. Because our game isn't so widespread as, let's say, something like chess or Go. The chances that you can play people in person sometimes just aren't there. So for some people, it just isn't an option, unfortunately. But anyway, it's still something to strive for. Okay, so let's start. And so I'm going to be mentioning something about the basics that I meant. Okay, so it's an iFooty game. Let me read what he what he said. Time Zombie said Ghost has such a strong Sume Shogi ability for a 2Q player. Oh, really? Huh. I was surprised how fast he could solve collection. It was one of the fastest when solving problems on my stream. Okay, I hope that's correct. I don't know if I'm just happening to be on, watching his games and like not seeing the same thing, but I hope it's Anyway, I hope what you're saying is correct. Make server for Canadians into a countrywide online dojo. Yeah. Okay. So let's proceed. I don't want to look too much in the opening. I want to do mostly middle and end gameplay. Uh, but I'll make some small comments. So Black's position looks a bit unusual. His setup of the generals looks a bit unusual, but I wouldn't say it's bad or anything. Usually, in iFooty games, you want to move the king like toward this side of the board. So what he did was a bit unusual in that he moved it to the left side. It resembles more of a Takara Ryu game, except in Takara Ryu, the rook's usually here instead of on the fourth file, as some of you might know. Hi. Okay, Tanzami said he seems to have trouble converting Sume Shogi to wins, I suppose. Yeah, that's definitely the problem. Yeah. Okay. So with iFooty games, it usually ends up something like this. And you can make a king muso. So this is normal looking. Okay. Also doing Nino is also a possibility. Let's say something like this happens. You could also do Yagura, and that's also sort of normal. You're going to form a Takara Ryu Hidari Gyoku. Yeah. For Takara Ryu, what you want to do is like this, and then swing the rook over first, or like this, and then you move the knight up here. So that's how you get into the setup. But doing fourth file rook, you usually don't mesh those two ideas. Usually, you're gonna move the king to this direction if you do fourth file rook. Okay. Okay, so with this move and this move, I don't know. Maybe you're trying to still get into that setup, but you're gonna end up losing a move, yeah. And it might be hard to do that because the bishop's diagonals are open now. Okay, so it looks like he threatens to drop the bishop here, but that it's not going to work. Because of this. And then you take this guy and then you trap the bishop. Yeah. So it's a bit tricky. So as long as he has this fork and can take the gold, he's not black's not going to be able to drop here. So white has some amount of time. Yeah, and so here I would just maybe just move the king back, and then try starting the fight. just make the king a bit safer before initiating things. And so now there's a fork. Okay, so he takes here, and then he gets his counter. So what could he have done instead in order to prevent the thing? Yeah, he should do this first. Yeah, not allow the fork. And then maybe he can aim for things like this afterwards. Uh, so I guess he must have just done it like an oversight. But surprisingly, even despite this, White actually has some pretty good play. He did that. Okay, hitting this gold here. So what would you do instead, though, if you thought it was a blunder? Is it worth to trade the bishop for the gold? Yeah. Yeah, that actually came up in the game. Yeah, so if Siowketan, instead of 3-1, 3-9 lance, what do you suggest then? I mean, he's already threatening to take the gold. Okay, so he ends up breaking through. So it's a gold for bishop exchange, but White also got breakthrough. Yeah. Okay, and he did that. He took the lance. And he did this. Okay, and next this move, I think this was questionable. There's a much stronger move here, and that's dropping the pawn here. Just threatening to promote the pawn here next. Threaten the bishop. Yeah, this is very tough for White. I don't know. I mean, tough for Black. I don't know what he's gonna do. So this bishop and these other pieces here end up becoming targets. So very quickly, White's gonna end up with a material advantage after this. So I think he stands much better. Uh, meanwhile, meanwhile, you notice that this rook isn't moving. It isn't working. So he's kind of behind in the counterplay. So let's say earlier this pawn weren't here and he was able to drop it here, then it might be a bit more play for Black. But as things stand, it looks kind of hard to get play. After 2-7 silver, 5-7 silver, promotes here to defend. Yeah, he can do this, yeah. And then maybe he can exchange off the rook, but this guy still falls. Yeah. So he threatens that. He also threatens a lance. If the bishop moves, he also threatens like this, or he's going to threaten the knight. So how would Black play? he can take this, and then he threatens like this. Yeah, this is disastrous for white. Yeah. So 2/7 pawn uh, was a very strong move, and it's very easy to follow up too. So whenever you look at lines of play, you want to look at play that's easy to find follow-up moves. So that this fits the bill. And now let's compare that variation that's easy to follow up with what happened in the game. So he did this, and he pulled back the rook, which is interesting idea. And so let so what just happened? We have a very good dragon against a rook that isn't in play. So after these moves, he traded his good dragon for the one that wasn't out of play. And this is one of the things I mean about basics. You want to not trade off your active pieces if possible, especially for pieces that are inactive. And that's what happened. And here, yeah, it looks kind of tough, but I don't know if something like this were better. Yeah, it could be. I don't completely know. Um, but he did this, dropped here. So we ended up in a position where the rook is passive again against an active rook. Siowketan, do you see what I mean by like active and inactive pieces? So it almost reverted back to where we were before, except white's rook isn't promoted now. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then he did this. And it seems the reason why he did this was so that he could promote the rook. Um, but is there something better he could have done? What I was looking at was this move, this pawn drop here. So again, similar to what we were looking at before, he just threatens to win some material, yeah? And then maybe go after the bishop. And if the rook takes, now he's able to promote the lance here. So in this one, he doesn't give up the lance just to promote the rook. So this looks way more threatening than in the game. If you promote the rook here, threatening here, what could he do? What about this? There's threatening mate here. If he takes the gold, then he defends this with tempo, and there's no way that black can follow this thing up. His dragon's attacked and mate's threatened here. So it looked like a free piece, but it actually wasn't. He doesn't gain it for nothing. Yeah. So I think at this point, white's going to win this. So you can't even take the gold. How does black defend? It looks kind of tough. Let's say he does something like this just to be able to bring this guy back. This looks very double-edged, especially since the king is in this general attacking area. Also, this king is in the same area. Yeah, this would be very double-edged. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I still kind of prefer White's position here. So this so what do we call moves like this in terms of attack? Do you guys remember the term that we use? Yeah. So if you don't know this term, add it to your vocab list. Okay. So this continuation is thin. So when we're attacking, we want to avoid thin continuations. And the opposite of thin is tegatai. Uh, this is solid attack. So let's go back. This is a more tegatai kind of move. Although usually you don't say it when it's so far away from the king. Um, Maybe you could call it Tega Hiroi. Yeah, Tega Hiroi. Like a wider move. A move that has more attacking possibilities. Okay, so let's go up. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know about this. Maybe you can maybe you should just grab here to get the lance in hand. Then he can threaten like this, or like this. Meanwhile, Black does have this. So he has to keep that in mind. Yeah, he should take the lance. See, if it came to this, maybe he would be able to drop the lance here, but he doesn't have it. I think maybe he should have just grabbed the pawn. Yeah, this looks kind of. There's this wedge here that's going to be very good for Black's attacking possibilities. Oh no! See, he gave up the gold for nothing. Yeah. Again, he should just take the lance. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know why he did that. He did that. He wanted to drop lance 8-4. He doesn't have the lance though. He needed to take it way before that. Hmm. Yeah, this is a bit scary, but white doesn't have how much in hand. Maybe there's something else. Yeah, because now this does look like something. So maybe you should what move is there? Is there some way to like pile up and make this thing stronger? I guess this makes some sense. Just to try and get rid of one of the defenders. Pile, Pilock, Pilock. I don't understand what you're trying to say. Pile up, pile up. pile up. Because if something like this, he can just move out of the way. Um, if he takes here, maybe he can do like this. I I think black's doing really well. Doesn't this look pretty good? You plan to let the knight jump to 6-5. But wouldn't you rather have the dragon here because it's putting pressure against the king? You see, everything is coordinating toward the square. See? When you attack, you want the pieces to be coordinated. So let's... Okay, so everything becomes kind of a bit confused. What about here? Maybe like this. But then there's this. Yeah, I'm not sure. Much rather have this guy in play. It's only defending right now. But he ran here. Takes, king runs. So the king is in a safer place, but I don't know, it might be harder to fight back. Maybe I did that. That makes sense. Trying to like close in the king. Hmm. Oh, what about this though? Then you threaten mate here and here. Yeah, I think using the gold is better. Yeah. So maybe here he had to try and do like this, but I think this is I think white's gonna lose pretty soon, pretty quickly. You know, you can like pile up like this, or you know, he has options. There's also like this. Yeah, black's gonna win this. So maybe after this check, best try was to try and hang on by doing this. So I mentioned about when you're in kind of bad positions, you want to avoid letting the opponent win simply, and this so that when you run away like this, it allows a simple variation. When you're winning, you want to keep the game as clear as possible, as simple as possible. And when you're losing, you want to make the thing as complicated as possible. So that would be this. And then Black will still have to figure out how he's going to win this. This way, it's a little bit too clear. The continuations are a little bit too clear. Um, did that. There's something else. Yeah, I guess what you did was good enough. What about this? And then you just threaten to do this, yeah. Since a gold's pinned. See, when you do moves like this, it might win, but at the same time, it gives the opponent pieces in hand, which might not make a difference in the game, but you know, it's one of those things that you should probably keep in mind when you're converting your advantage. See, this one doesn't give him anything in hand. Yeah. Also, this. You know, you win as simply as you can. You don't want to give the opponent counterplay. You see, you gave him the gold, yeah. So is there like something simpler? Could you just do this? This threatening, this is a threat mate, yeah. See, and you don't give him anything in hand. Yeah. So it looks like he's not gonna have enough anyway. Good. Yeah. All right. So did you guys have any questions with the game? Good game. Hopefully what you take away from this game is that when you're converting your advantage, keep things simple and don't give the opponent pieces in hand because it can lead to counterplay down the line. So when you're winning, make sure you actually have to still consider your opponent's counterplay and keep things simple. And when you're in a bad position, uh, make things as complicated as possible. So there's that, and so inactive piece, active piece. So you don't want to trade your active pieces for the opponent's inactive pieces. That's what happened here. And then when you're finding moves, you want to go into lines of play that are easy to follow up. So that would be this. And I think lastly, there's just the thing about the opening. If you want to play Takara Ryu, you don't play Shikenbisha first because you end up losing time. You want to be able to do this in one go. So it'd be like this. Okay. All right. If you guys don't have any other questions, I think that'll conclude the stream unless there's something else that you wanted to go over in the game. All right, doesn't seem to be any questions, so I hope that was, yeah, I played Takara Ryuki. Not sure about whether it's Ibisha or Fujibisha. Yeah. Yeah. Openings can be very difficult to play. There's also, I should point out one more thing. You could also do this. And this one. And then you move the bishops somewhere. And then you end up with the rook back here. Yeah. Anyway. So I hope this was helpful to you, and good game. So I'm going to end the stream here. If you guys found this helpful and wish to support the stream, you can do that by clicking on the Streamlabs link in the description. Donations are not necessary but are always welcome. I will hopefully see you guys again soon later on. Hope your holidays are going well for you, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Bye.